Hello, Chaplain Paul. Welcome to another one of my videos. And I got my buddy Crikey. See? Crikey! Hello, I'm Crikey. Well, no, that's not Crikey. That's Dizzy the monkey right there. That's Dizzy, okay? Crikey's his cousin, or we said his brother in the last video, in Australia. We'll write him into the next book. Crikey. That means like, hey, cool, or something like that in Australia. It's an expression of excitement, you know. I looked it up. I asked Google. Anyway, today is chapter 5. Yay! What, Crikey? Dizzy? Chapter 5. Okay, chapter 5. This is a guy. He was in Kingman prison. His name was Jerry. So this is I use sort of his personality to write this in there. This chapter 5 called Jerry the Jackal. Here's the book. See, there it is. There's the book again. And so this is called Jerry the Jackal. So let's roll. The jackals are a family who love to steal. In fact, they steal about every meal. The jackals will rob you blind. They steal for fun, and if you see them coming, you better run, because jackals could be kind of mean. Now, on this fine day, Fomba and Kenneth were on their way to see Dizzy, the monkey. See? Dizzy. To see if Dizzy the monkey wanted to come out and play. Kenneth sat upon Fomba's head. Let's all take a listen to hear what they said. Fomba, don't trip over that log. Hey Fomba, watch out for that big green frog. Hey Fomba, watch out for that rock. Hey Fomba, turn right. Hey Fomba, turn left. Hey Fomba, don't hit that tree. Hey Fomba, are you listening to me? Said Kenneth the mouse. Then Fomba said with a shout, cool it, Kenneth. Your directions I could do without. You see, Kenneth was kind of bugging Fomba as they're walking about. That rhymed. Kenneth, I have 2 eyes to see and 2 ears to hear. Be on a lookout in case real danger is near. You always got to look out for danger. Sorry, Fomba, I'll cool it, said the little mouse. Fomba and Kenneth continued down the narrow path. Then a light went off in Kenneth's head. Oh no, not another one of Kenneth's bright ideas. That's what it says. Hey, you know what? I remember that because I wrote it. Actually, why do I need the book? I could just tell it. So they went down the path, okay, and they're walking along, and you know what? What happens? I don't know. Let's see, and then we'll have a sing along. Okay. I don't know, Kenneth. I never went down that way before," said Fomba. "Come on, Fomba. The other way is a chore." "Okay, Kenneth. We'll give it a try. You better pray we don't get lost, or I'll cry." Then they came across a fresh kill. They looked all around, but all was still. Uh-oh. What do you think, Dizzy?
I think they ought to stay away from there.
I think you're right, buddy. And now I lost my place, so I probably shouldn't do that like that. But let's see what happens. Oh. Oh. Then Fomba said, "Let's just let it be and hurry down the path to see Dizzy." All of a sudden, they heard an evil sound that gave both of them a trembling chill. Then the jackal family came out of the hole in the ground, determined to steal the kill. Uh-oh, the jackals have arrived. And there they were, surrounded by jackals. Oh no! What sat on Fomba's head filled the jackal's eyes with greed. Then the leader of the pack said, "Oh, now that's exactly what I need." Uh-oh, Jerry Jackal wanted he saw Kenneth the mouse sitting on Fomba's head, and he wanted to eat him. Kenneth was pretty scared, I'll tell you that. You know how I know? Because I wrote it. Okay, here we go. Oh, hello, gents. My name is Jerry Jackal. You see, this kill just isn't enough. Jackals are pretty greedy. I'll be taking the mouse, too, if you please. Oh boy, poor little Kenneth. He started to sneeze. Poor little Kenneth started to sneeze. That's what it says. "Oh, please, please, sir. I'm on my knees. Kenneth was praying. Oh, please, please, sir, don't kill me. Fomba moved to the left and back over to the right. You see, he saw something in the brush that was out of the jackal's sight. Good old Fomba, he'll come to the rescue. He always does for his little buddy Kenneth. Time's up, elephant. The mouse, if you please, or perhaps you would like us to turn you into elephant cheese. Oh, no. I don't know if you had elephant cheese. Do they really have that? I don't think so. Sure, said Fomba. This little mouse means nothing to me. Please take him as a gift. He's free. Oh, no. What is Fomba doing? He's going to hand over his little buddy to the jackals? I don't think so. Fomba's pretty smart. Sure, said Fomba. This little mouse means nothing to me. Please take him. He's a gift. He's free. I just said that. Fomba lifted Kenneth up with his trunk and held him out to Jerry over some brush. Kenneth was shaking with fear as Jerry the jackal came near. Jerry the jackal was about to reach out and take Kenneth and snatch him away. Kenneth was shaking with fear as Jerry Jackal came very near. Then as Jerry the jackal reached out to grab poor Kenneth with an evil smile, bam! He fell face first in a hole with a crocodile. All the other jackals gathered around the hole in the ground to take a closer look. Then they all looked at each other and scattered with fear. As they all cried all the way home with their eyes full of tears. Fomba and Kenneth yelled with a cheer, "Hooray! Hooray!" The two were back on their way without any fear. They made it to Dizzy's and they had some fun. Then they went back home to the elephant herd. Now this day is done. That was chapter 5. Boy, that was pretty cool. What did you think, Dizzy?
It made me a little dizzy, but I really liked it. Hey, Chaplain Paul, what's next?
Well, let's see. Chapter 6. A way cool panther called Mr. Bones. This is a guy that was in the facility. He's African American. He was his nickname was Mr. Bones, and he would always tell these jokes, you know. So I created him. Asked his permission, of course, you know, so there's no problems. But I asked him, I said, I'd like to write you into my book as a way cool panther that tells jokes and well, let's just see, because I wrote about him, and it's explanatory in the book. There you go. It's all in the book. A panther of silken black was he, with golden eyes and very sharp teeth. Mr. Bones was his name, and joking for his kill was this panther's game. For he'll lure you in with a smile and a joke, then he'll pounce on you with the punchline. Many a prey died laughing in tears. See, he would tell a joke, and then the prey would laugh so hard they'd fall to the ground. And then, oh well, Mr. Bones would pick them up, and that would be the end of that. Now, how much time we got left? Ooh. Now, even though he could tear you apart, he didn't want the others to know that he had a very big heart. This is true. Mr. Bones liked Fomba a lot and always told Fomba that a friend of yours is a friend of mine. He always would give Fomba good advice, and he would always look out for Fomba with a watchful eye. Now, this is the story of Fomba, Mr. Bones, and old Maggie Magpie. Magpie is a bird. It has been well said that birds of a feather flock together. You see, Maggie Magpie flew with the crows, a lying bunch, who for many a foe. They'll fly into a garden and steal whatever they could, then they'll lie and blame the mess on somebody else, flying off to the listening ears of lions or hippos or rhinos or deers. They'll lie through their beaks with eyes full of tears. Hey, these guys don't seem too cool. Gossip and lies were these birds' nasty surprise. Now, if by chance you happen to see them coming your way, shoo them all off, for they might just set you up as their next victim that day. Mr. Bones just loves strawberries. He really does. You might say he loves them a lot. He had 2 big baskets of ripe strawberries all to himself that he kept in a big copper pot. Now, it just so happened that one of the crows spied some of Mr. Bones' strawberries sitting on the shelf. Then wouldn't you know it, the black crow flew back to his friends and said, "Hey guys, we need those strawberries all to ourselves. Little greedy, aren't they?" Then an evil plan was hatched to go and steal Mr. Bones' berry patch. I don't think that's a good idea. I mean, would you steal a meal from a black panther? Would you steal a meal from a baby panther? I wouldn't even steal a meal from my dog. For that matter. Well, that didn't rhyme. Maybe next time. Maggie Magpie flew to see Kenneth the Mouse and told him of a tale that someone had left a big batch of strawberries all alone in a great big copper pail. Poor Kenneth, getting set up again. "Kenneth, you're my friend and I want to share some delicious strawberries only with you." Maggie told poor little Kenneth just sit and wait. Then she flew off without a care. And in the blackness of the night, those evil birds took to flight. Filled with hunger and greed, they all started to pick up speed. Mr. Bones was away tending to a kill as the crows flew in so quick and so scary. They all snatched up every single one of those delicious, ripe strawberries. And as they flew, there was only one animal sitting in a tree who knew exactly what to do. Then Maggie Magpie flew straight back to Kenneth and said, "Here you are, Kenneth. Here are some delicious strawberries just for you, my dear." Kenneth looked up and answered her and said, "You really are my friend," as he shed a little tear. Then with a wink and a tip of her wing, she took off and said, "Goodbye, Kenneth, my dear, goodbye." But what poor Kenneth didn't know was that Maggie Magpie didn't really care at all. The next morning, Mr. Bones came back from his kill. His golden eyes turned beet red as he looked at the terrible spill. Uh-oh. You don't want to mess with Mr. Bones. And as anger filled his golden eyes, he said, "Whoever did this will be their demise." Now all those all of those nasty crows knew exactly what to do. They all took to the air to spread their nasty lies. They would go and tell everyone the thief was poor little Kenneth. Oh, what a surprise. Poor Kenneth. Maggie went and told Mr. Bones and that Kenneth was the thief, and without question, Mr. Bones believed. You know, you should always check with your friends when other people spread rumors or lies or say things about them. You should go right to the source and ask them, of course. That rhymed again. Maggie went and told Mr. Bones that Kenneth was the thief, and without question, Mr. Bones believed. Then Mr. Bones took off running. He ran straight to Fomba and demanded to know where Kenneth was. The story that Fomba heard sounded very lame. Fomba knew deep in his heart that Kenneth was not to blame. Good old Fomba. He always looks out for his little buddy. Now I gotta hurry. Uh-oh. Might not have enough time. I gotta read it real fast. I may have to do the rest in rhyme. So, here's what happened. Mr. Bones, running to Fomba, said, I know that little runt. He pulled this stunt. So here's what happened. Then all of a sudden, here comes Kenneth with 2 big strawberries for his best buddy Fomba. Oh no! Then Mr. Bones sees him with the strawberries. He goes, "See, I told you he pulled this stunt. I'm going to take care of that little runt." Well, Kenneth was filled with fear. He dropped to his knees because he knew that danger was near. He prayed and he prayed his heart out. He didn't want to die. He looked at Fomba and said, "Help me, man, before I start to cry." Well, let me tell you what happened next. You know who came to the rescue? There was one animal in the trees, and he knew what happened that fateful day. He knew because he saw the whole thing. It was Dizzy. Dizzy came swinging in on a vine. Then he told the truth. And then you know what happened? Mr. Bones had to apologize to Kenneth and to Fomba because of what happened. Okay, we only got a few seconds left, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish this. Probably not. So we'll finish this story in the next video. For now, take care. Bye-bye.